Hello kids, how we doing? Hope you're all keeping well. This is Pat here. We're going to be cooking some scones. I want you to cook the scones and bake the scones and get your parents to help. In these times we have to amuse ourselves, and it's a great time to do a bit of baking since we have so much time on our hands. So let's get started. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to get a tray and line it with some parchment paper. Now if you don't have parchment paper, just get a bit of flour and sprinkle it, okay? It's as handy as anything. So I'm going to leave that over there. I'm going to start with our dry ingredients for the scones. Now the first thing is the flour, and that's 500 grams. Now if you don't have a weighing scale, what you can do is just put the flour, the self-raising flour, into a tin. Take your time doing it. And if you spill it, don't worry about it. We can always clean it up later. Just concentrate just on making our scones. Now, you bring it up to the very top, don't press down, make sure it's nice and level into the bowl. Now, the next thing we've got to put in is our baking powder. We need 1 teaspoonful of baking powder. So you just get your teaspoon of baking powder, tap, 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 nice and level. That goes in there. And the next thing then is we're going to use our salt, and that's another level teaspoonful, so that's handy enough. Tap, 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 that goes in there. So that's most of our dry ingredients in there. Now, normally you'd sieve the flour, and the baking powder, but if you don't have a sieve, just use a whisk or a spoon and disperse the ingredients like that. So the next thing we have to rub in is the butter. I'll get the butter out of the fridge. The butter has to be very cold. So the recipe calls for 100 grams of butter. So this is 227 a block. So just cut it in half and you'll be near enough there. That's all you've got to do. You don't need scales. And once we get our butter rubbed in, we're going to add some sugar. So get your parents to help you with this here, but you've got to be very careful. And as well as that, my hands are lovely, washed with lovely soap and water for at least 20 minutes, nice hot water, and dried with a paper towel. So my hands are lovely and clean. So here we go. Alright, look at that. I'm using a chopping board. I'm not cutting on the table because I don't want to ruin the table. So you get a wee chopping board of some kind, and again, safety, safety, safety. Let's see, cut, 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 into lovely little cubes. Now, I've got a machine here to blend in my butter, but as always I might have trouble with it. So I'm going to put half my flour, salt and baking powder in here. You see? You don't need it all in. Now, that's that. And then we just get in our butter and toss it into the flour. Just give it a wee helping hand. There you are. The butter's going to make these wee things very, very tasty. And then we're going to add the sugar later on. So, lid on. Now, when you're using a machine like this, just pulse it once or twice to make sure that the blade's in and everything's alright. I'll get to dry my hands. Now, always usually get a ball of ice. See, that's it. My hands are slippery, so I'll get a cloth or some kind. See. This will take 1 minute, and I apologise about the noise, but it only takes a minute, so it's not so bad. The machine's doing all the work. If you're doing that by hand, it will take you 15-20 minutes. Now, open her up. And you can see now that all the butter is blended on, you see, and into like fine breadcrumbs, alright? So that's going into the bowl here. Be careful with the blade when you're using the blade. Set it aside. So all we're going to do now is mix these all together again, the two flours. And see all that butter's blended in there, look. And the machine takes all the hard work out of it, but we have lots of time, so you can do it by hand easy enough. Now the next thing, I'll put that over there. The next thing I've got to do is measure out the milk. So we need, I'll just check there, 275 millilitres of the milk. And that's 3/4 of a can of our baked beans again. So I'll just show you how much that is. There you are, that's 3/4. Don't put it all in at once. The vanilla extract's going in. All we need is a teaspoonful of that. Give it a wee bit of flavour. It's hardly a bit of vanilla extract. There we go. There we are. Now, stir that. Now, next thing is sugar. And if you don't have scales for the sugar, 60 grams of sugar. If you don't have scales for the sugar, just put 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that's approximate of 60 grams, so we're going to stir that again. So that's all our dry ingredients in there, right? Stir that again, have it nice and even all through. You see that? That's a lovely mix there now, look. So make a well in the middle. Make a good well in the middle and take your time. And we pour in our milk and our vanilla extract. Don't put it all in. Keep some back. If we need it, we can put it in later. So now watch, kids. See the way I'm stirring, taking a wee bit from the side, making it a wee pool. And eventually that will form into a dough. Take your time doing it, relax, enjoy. Now, you see what I'm doing, girls and boys? You could use your hands, but I don't really like my hands getting wet and sticky. I wait till the very last minute and then I use my hands. And of course, again, your hands have to be super clean. But I know your kids out there, you'll be washing your hands quite frequently anyway. So, there's no worries there anyway. So, I think I might need another little bit of the milk. So that's always great to have the milk there to mix in. Now at this stage, when we've nearly got the dough ready, you could put in, instead of vanilla extract, you could put in a zest of an orange or a zest of a lemon. You could put in fruit, raisins, sultanas, really whatever you like, whatever's in the cupboard. I mean, and again, you could make them savoury, you could leave out the sugar, and they're just as beautiful without the sugar, and you could put in the likes of cheddar cheese and scallions and make them savoury. So, now you see that's come together there, lovely. Now it's time to get the hands sticky, sticky, sticky. So what we do is we put our fingers into your thing to stop the dough sticking to your hand and just bring it together. We don't want to knead it. If you knead it, it'll become very tough. Now, do you see how quick that came together? Now we sprinkle of flour, and that's going to go out into your bowl. As simple as that. Get rid of this house bowl. Now, pat it together, bring it together. Keep your hands nice and floured. Do you see that? That's all it really takes. Now, get rid of my mixer. I want to put a wee bit of flour on a plate, and you'll see what I'm doing there in a minute. So the flour's going on the plate. Now, you could roll this out with a rolling pin. I don't have no rolling one, so I'm going to use my hands. It just wants to be an inch thick deep. You see? See that measurement there? The first cross on your finger? Get your mommy and daddy to do that. So the dough doesn't stick to the cutter. I have a cutter here, but if you don't have a cutter at home, you can use a glass. See, they're roughly around the same size. Now, let's get started. You can take turns at doing this. Start at the edge, press down, don't twist. And that's one scone. Again. into the flour. That's 2. Well, look at them lovely wee scones now. Perfect. We'll be having some feed this evening. We're making these here for a couple that is concooning. They're over 70, and we're going to leave them at the doorstep. Of course, we can't go into the house, and hopefully this will give them a wee treat, a wee lift, so we all can do a wee bit. And I hope you enjoyed the wee video. And of course, take turns at doing this, take turns at stirring, and take turns at measuring. And everybody has a tin of beans, and just for it's just a regular 420 gram of a bean tin, but they're all basically the same. And so anybody without scales or without sieves or without whisks or so can make these scones. So you see what I'm doing here. As simple as that. Bring the last bit together. You get quite a lot of scones out of this this recipe. So we get again. Get again. We're nearly there now. But I think it's quite satisfying and enjoyable when you're doing these sort of things. And especially when you can look forward to them eating them. So there we are, that's all the scones, and one more. We'll get one more out of it. Waste not, want not, isn't that right? Now, the next thing we've got to do is get our tray. We get that out of the road, and here's our tray. As I said before, I've got grease paper here. You can use a shaking of flour, and carefully place them on the tray, keeping them a wee space apart. You see that? I preheated the oven to 200 degrees. These are going to take between 12 and 15 minutes to cook. And I want your parents to help you put the scones into the oven and take the scones out of the oven. Okay, now we're going to brush them with a wee bit of milk so that they have a nice wee glaze on them. Okay, you can have a mixture of egg and milk, but I just prefer the milk. And just toss it out. If you don't have a brush, you can use a clean paintbrush, or just dab a piece of pepper into the milk and dab it on that way. There's any way you want. There's no right way or no wrong way, you know what I mean? So there we are. These are going to be in the oven now. And then it's get the jam and the butter and the cream and all the lovely things that can go with this. That's just nearly there. These are going to go into the oven now for, as I said, 12 to 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this wee video. You're the boss in the kitchen today, kids. Good luck.